I chose to watch the film Shouting Secrets for my final project. Shouting Secrets is a film focused on the family of an Apache author from the San Carlos Indian Reservation in Arizona, specifically the family's various struggles, the most distressing of which is their mother going through a stroke and dying. The drama between family members starts with the rest of the family being rude to Wesley, the main character, about his autobiographical novel that they believe reflects badly on the family. It continues with Wesley yelling at his father Cal because of built up resentment from his childhood. Cal cheated on their mother June while they were growing up and is a drug user who was fairly abusive to his children. Wesley's sister Pinty is pregnant with the baby of a white man who has trouble integrating with the family's culture. Wesley's brother Tuska is in trouble with the law and seeking redemption for himself with his family and the community at large. The movie is set mostly in the hospital where their mother is being treated for her stroke. The family members are extremely stressed out and get in many fights, some of them physical, but by the end of the movie are all brought closer together through their mourning and through their troubles that they worked through. The film was written by Mickey Blaine, Tivili Jacob, and Stephen Judd, Native American producers, writers, and directors. The film's main focus of the main character Wesley coming back to his family on the reservation after being away for so long mirrors the writer's own experiences with their families and reservations that they grew up on. The writers had to deal with the same issues of cultural identity that the main character Wesley did. Whether or not they fit in with their old friends and family anymore, whether or not they still practice tribal traditions and ceremonies, and whether or not their families would accept them as changed people. Many Native Americans struggle with connecting to their roots, home, and family after they leave the reservation for a significant amount of time. Shouting Secrets director is Karina Sehringer, and it was her first feature-length film. The film won various awards, including Best Feature Film at Rhode Island International Film Festival. Karina chose to hire a mostly Native American cast to act in the film to make it realistic and honor the story. Shouting Secrets was filmed mostly in a hospital, so they used bright LED lighting that is commonly found in hospitals. The lighting made the film more realistic and brought out the actors' features. There were several scenes filmed outside at night, some of them darker in nature. These scenes, filmed outside, cast shadows from the hospital's outdoor lights and contrasted significantly with the bright LED lighting of the indoor scenes. They used clear microphones that had each actor's voice stand out equally. The movie was filmed at mostly a mid-level camera angle with a normal lens. The camera angle allows the audience to feel like they're in the room and connect with the characters as if they were with them, experiencing their hardships. The style of filming focused on who was talking and had very few cuts compared to many films. This filming style draws the audience in and follows the family's arguments and conversations closely. The film's main character, Wesley, struggles with his sense of cultural identity throughout the film. He grew up on the San Carlos Indian Reservation, but moved away when he became an adult and a successful writer. He struggles with differences between himself and his family, who stuck with their Native American roots and stayed on the reservation. Wesley is an atheist and yells at his aunt for praying loudly for his sick mother, saying that religion isn't real and that she is wasting her life by believing in God. Wesley clashes with his family and their culture throughout the film. He is a successful author living in a big city who doesn't bother to visit home because of resentment towards his father and because of his new cultural identity that doesn't include the reservation or traditional Native American practices and rituals. At the end of the film, Wesley's best friend tells him that he's a tribal storyteller, and everyone in the tribe thinks of him that way. This is a major step in Wesley accepting himself for who he is and developing his cultural identity to include the place and people where he comes from. The film begins with Tuska playing into Native American stereotypes for a joke against Pinty's husband, who is a white man. He pretends to be a tribal chief and sells him a cup of special Native American coffee for a ridiculous price, using his best mysterious wise voice. Pinty's husband falls for his trick and buys an ordinary coffee from the corner of the room. He has little experience with Native American culture other than his wife Pinty, and holds stereotypes about Native Americans because of that. He tells Wesley's father that he looks like a guy that would own a gun because of the stereotypes that Native Americans are warriors. He later gives their father a bow and arrow, which is another stereotype about Native Americans. Wesley's father wasn't offended by the stereotypes his son in law held towards him, and decided to welcome him into the family and chose to teach him more about Native American culture to help dissipate the stereotypes that he holds. Resistance is a theme that underlays the film Shouting Secrets. The main character, Wesley, is resistant to accepting his mother's sickness and eventual death. He is also resistant to connecting back to his family and Native American heritage and culture. He struggles to fit into his role as the tribal storyteller. He has writer's block and is unable to come up with inspiration for his next book because he has been so disconnected from his Native American life and culture. Throughout the movie, Wesley is unable to come to terms with his mother's illness and doesn't go into the room with her hospital bed until they have to pull the cord on her life support. He resists the idea of her passing, which is a common step in the grieving process called denial. He struggles to fit in with his family and lashes out at them with words and violence while coming to terms with his identity as an Apache Native American. The film Shouting Secrets transformed my understanding of cultural identity of Native Americans as more than just identifying with their tribe and family on their reservation. Modern Native Americans also identify as Americans after experiencing American culture off of their reservations and traveling through the large cities in the United States. The film's exploration of stereotypes changed my understanding of stereotypes as just a hateful form of expression of racism. Sometimes stereotypes are embraced by Native Americans in jest or authentically, and they can use people's stereotyping remarks as opportunities to teach people who hold stereotypes about Native American culture and day-to-day life. Sometimes stereotypes are caused by ignorance about a person's culture, and the best way to solve these horrible prejudices is through learning about a person's culture.